Biggins and Dawn are reviewing the papers this morning. And Biggins, let's talk about town hall spending. There's a lot of criticism of this recently.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. Apparently £52 million of taxpayers' cash has been spent on local authorities on equality, diversity and inclusion rules. I mean, you know, what is our society like now?
But my friend, could I ask you, as a gay man, as an openly gay man,
yes,
it could be argued that a lot of these measures are here to protect someone like you. You obviously feel you don't need them.
No.
And why not, and who does need them?
Well, I think a tiny minority of people who fight for them. You know, they want to be seen and they want to be tested and they want to be people to know what it is. I mean, this whole business now of emails, you have to say his or her or him or I am or what are you? You know, I think it's wrong.
I never fill that in. Do you fill that in?
No, I've not put that in. But I do think, look, is there a sensible point to all this? We've seen what happened to Birmingham City Council when they failed in their obligations to pay women what they were due and then bankrupted themselves, retrospectively paying it out. So if they are investing a little bit of money and making sure they're meeting equality standards, is that...
Yeah, but there's a difference between the inclusion and diversity, blah, 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 whatever.
But it's easy for us to lump it all in together, but aren't there some important points in there?
But that was a glaringly obvious sexism, Equal Pay Act issue, wasn't it? That's nothing to do with this sort of like wasting money. And the NHS do it as well. I mean, we pay all these people hundreds of thousands of pounds every year to tick boxes when really people are dying of cancer. I mean, you know, and not getting the treatment they need. Mad.
What about this faulty Home Office IT, Dawn? Another day, another computer system letting us down. Home Office seems to be beset with these sorts of problems. What's the latest?
Yeah, basically, this is a system called Atlas, which is installed in the Home Office, which, as you say, are having huge issues. And when we can't process migrants, the staff are all sort of like either having mental health issues or working from home, and it's just not working, basically. So it's costing the Home Office, i.e. taxpayers, which is us, £71 million in errors. And we all saw what happened with the Post Office with the dodgy computer system. So you've got people who are sort of like waiting for visa clearances, migration issues, who are just being left waiting with no answers, but when it should have been very, very simple to sort.
So that explains then all these long, lengthy waits.
It's a part of the explanation, yes, apart from the fact...
It's interesting, though, these things, you're absolutely right what you're saying. Years and years ago, everything ran very smoothly.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's now, when you'd think it was going to be better.
But I suppose that's because the complexity wasn't there. I mean, it was a relatively simple
system,
you know, hand-controlled, whatever. Now we entrust an IT system, artificial intelligence, to do something that was never required before. It's like we know the price of everything and the value of nothing.
Absolutely. Well, that's probably the internet is to blame, isn't it?
Yes.
That's all over the world, because people all over the world can see what other countries are doing and how they're living. So it becomes a real problem, I think. Then that's...
It's interesting, going back to the main story of the day, sorry, Eamonn, the royal picture on the front pages. If you look at sort of like, you know, if you run it through AI, there are various results as to how much of the photo has been enhanced and how much of it is natural. But, I mean, the percentages are all over the place. It ranges from 15% up to about 45% that it has been artificially produced, rather than just being taken by William.
It is interesting. There was a great article over the weekend in the paper about the fact that when Prince Philip joined the royal family, he was hated by 5 or 6 top members of the royal family.
You can imagine. I mean, you hear so much about the Queen Mother, Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, which is the Queen Elizabeth's mother, Bose Lyons. And apparently she was insufferable, and you just look at her, and you think, you know, you can just imagine her. She liked to drink, she liked to smoke, whatever it is. I think she's got off in history really quite lightly.
Yes, she has. Well, I think that was because they did things during the war.
During the war,
like going round to people who were bombed out and saying nice things. But Queen Mary was even worse.
Yes, that was... No, it wasn't her mother. That was the father's mother.
That was father's mother. And she was renowned. She'd go and visit people in their homes and she'd say, oh, I do like that mug. And it had to be sent round.
Yes.
She had, and people used to hide things.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, and they would hide paintings and expensive
she
silver.
Just thought she was entitled to anything.
But
she
do you not
made,
know
right?
celebs like that? I mean, I knew celebs when people used to, when we were in the era of signing cheques, I knew people who would insist on paying for everything.
Oh, yes, so they wouldn't
by
cash
cheque,
them.
And they wouldn't cash the
That's
cheque.
right, that is true, absolutely.
People would frame the cheque and put it behind the bar wall and things like that.
But that generation of royals treated Philip, when he first came into them, a bit like people accuse Meghan of being treated now.
Yeah, exactly. It's been going on forever.
Well, you can't go on forever. We've got to end you two there. Really enjoyable, folks. Thanks very much indeed. Here's your weather.